Action. It started actually on a train back from Newport to New York in 2004. And on that train I wrote what is effectively the first scene of the film. I really just wrote sort of Caleb's monologue, what at the time was about 10 pages, and I just wrote it sort of by hand and then kind of put it away, and it was really there for not doing anything for a couple of years.
You know they're all whores, right? All of them. I'm not just talking about the little skanks that hang out around your dorm or your frat or whatever, but actually every woman you've ever known and every woman you'll ever meet.
And then a couple years later, I was revisiting some of Neil LaBute's work, and was started to become more enthused at the notion of writing and making something that was more in tune with the kind of films that were at Sundance, say, in the early to mid 90s, like In the Company of Men, Neil's first film, or Sex, Lies, and Videotape, 89, or Buffalo 66, and some of the films that just had a bit of an edge.
Check and see if they have cigarettes next door.
They're closed. They don't sell cigarettes anyway.
Well, thank you for that.
Can I get you anything else?
Yeah, you can warm this up and you can maybe grab my check if you find time in your precious little schedule. Fucking slut.
I'd sort of seen in the last few years, as everyone has, kind of the indie wood movement take over, where the films that are at most of the major festivals are really just studio films sort of scaled down a bit, and sometimes not scaled down at all. And so I wanted to do something small that was in the vein of you know, the great indies of the early 90s, American indies, a lot of them, or even, you know, one of my heroes is John Cassavetes, and his film Faces is really one of these kind of, I don't know, a film that really, really hit me hard the first time I saw it, and I just sort of thought, you know, shit, I want to make a movie like that. And so I revisited these 10 pages and started writing, and I really it wasn't really a process per se. There wasn't, you know, a strict outline I was abiding by. I really just kind of wrote it with these 4 characters really in mind, and really just trying to stay true to the characters that I had drawn, and ultimately came up with, you know, more or less what you see on the screen now. So the character of Caleb Sinclair, played by Adam Scott, is really the character that I thought of first when writing this story. And for anybody that sees the film, you know he's really sort of the thrust of everything. When writing him, the idea was really just to draw a character that was, you know, in a guy getting into his 30s whose growth had been stunted from the time he was 18, or the time at which this kind of traumatic event with his father and his mother passing happened. And he really handles everything with kind of the maturity of an 18-year-old.
Look, I don't want you fucking my brother up, okay?
Oh, okay.
I know you're a little whore, okay? You don't fool me with your flirty little tops and your fucking cliched punk rock bullshit.
The one thing that Adam and I were trying to keep in mind when bringing this guy to life was just that he is a tough guy to handle sometimes, and we wanted to make sure that if you were going to spend 90 minutes with him, he wasn't totally unlikable. And that's why we really tried to infuse some humor with this guy. I mean, it's humor certainly with an edge, but we like the idea that, you know, he can be so dark and perverse that it can be funny.
Lee and I were actually talking about it yesterday. He was like, I'm so glad you got some of the humor in the script, because some people's reaction to reading it was so, like, it was so polarizing. Like, some people just thought it was disturbing and too much of a downer, whereas I thought it was pretty funny.
Just thought you two should meet before we all cram in your car.
Well, I am so sorry, Your Royal Majesty. Next time I'll bring the rolls so you can stretch out. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Do you want the window seat? Because it might be a little more comfortable since you don't know.
Oh, no, it's fine.
I can totally hear you. FYI.
Sure.
Right here, I'm like 4 feet from you, so. Oh, you're done chatting? Okay, come on in.
You know that movie Trees Lounge from like the late 90s, the Steve Buscemi movie? And I remember when that came, it's one of my favorite movies. And I remember when that came out, he talked a lot about how this is, he wrote that movie thinking this is him if he didn't go and become an actor or do whatever that like brought him out of his hometown and onto a different path in life. And so my initial reaction to reading Vicious Kind was that Caleb is in some form what I could have kind of become if I became all the worst parts of myself and cut myself off from all the things in my life that work for me and just kind of become a bit of a mess and kind of indulge in all of the things that don't do me any good. And, you know, I don't know, it's starting to sound kind of like I'm a Scientologist or something, but...
All right, ready?
Quiet, please, guys.
Rehearsing quarter speed. And action. Down. All right, here it comes. Ah! Boom! Get him, get back. Get him, now, get him. Camera ready? And action. Go! Keep up. Right.
And roll sound.
Rolling. Shoot. And set. There it is. And action. Cut. All right, great. Cut.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's the first time that I've had a part where if I suck, the movie will suck. And that kind of freaked the shit out of me.
Stop! Stop! No, don't come near me! I'll scream! I'll scream!
Wait. Don't scream. Don't scream. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, okay? So I'm sorry.
Why the fuck would you say those things? Are you crazy?
No, I swear I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm sorry, I'm crying. I'm fucking crying. I'm sorry, okay? Just please don't say anything to Peter, okay? Or Donald. Please don't say anything to Donald, okay? I'm just, please.
Don't fuck with me! Fuck. Oh, shit.
Oh.
The character of Emma Gainsborough, played by Brittney Snow, is a girl who's a freshman in college, and I think like a lot of girls that age, she's just starting to sort of figure out who she is, and she's sort of coming into her own, but she still hasn't quite figured it out. And when we meet her, she's a little bit unsure of her relationship with Peter. She's nervous about meeting his father. She's intrigued by his older brother, who seems charming and funny.
I build homes, and I don't know if Peter, he probably mentioned that to you.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Well, I didn't tell her that because that's not true.
I'm sorry?
You're a construction worker.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Yeah, I construct homes. See, the words construct and build are synonymous, Peter. I don't know if you don't know that or if you just are playing
By
dumb.
asking about the architect and then immediately thereafter saying that you build homes implies that you were an architect, which you are not.
Okay.
I had the best time doing this movie, and I said that, you know, to Lee and to everybody that I've been asked, and I'm not just saying that. There's something so fulfilling and so gratifying about doing a smaller film that you really can relate to, and you know the crew, and you know your co-stars, and you know these people so well because you're working in an intimate environment, and I love that. I think that's the best place to kind of to create a character and create an atmosphere that you like.
Jesus.
Oh!
Shit. Are you okay? Honey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Did you actually hit yourself?
No. I'm acting!
Fucking perfect, actually. Hi. You
You ever been in a truck before?
Yes.
Well, this is a big one.
Not like this, I guess.
You ready?
Yeah.
Here it goes.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you drunk?
Almost.
So the character of Peter Sinclair, portrayed by the wonderful Alex Frost, is a guy who's now in his junior year in college, and unlike his older brother, is still naive, and he's not jaded, and he's got this very kind of soft quality to him.
You ever noticed it all the way we look at each other?
What do you mean?
I mean, I think we're in love. Peter's kind of a tightly wound guy. He comes from a family that's pretty dysfunctional, to say the least. His father is, well, I mean, you'll kind of see it in the movie. They're all men of the same breed, so to speak.
Yeah, you weren't kidding there, boyo. Just like a little angel. Dark angel, really, which is kind of sexier in a way.
Dad, please. Not everybody's as deaf as you are, okay? She'll hear you.
So what? You think a young lady like that doesn't like hearing how goddamn gorgeous she is? Shit, you gotta tell it to him every 10 minutes. Boy, I bet she's a tiger in bed, huh?
Dad. It's been great. It's been the time of my life, actually. It's been an incredibly unique experience, and the thing about it is each actor that I worked with was completely different. When I did each scene, like if I had a scene that was just alone with Adam, the way we would work together is completely different than the way I'd sit down and do a scene with Brittney. It gave itself a different feel as far as exploring the scene other than what's on the page, and opening a whole box of ideas that were maybe just relevant in our own reality. You know, things that we could draw from the script and just expand on a lot more. And with Adam, it's a lot of comedy.
Mark.
Well, look what I'm about to eat, sweetie. Fish sticks.
Trap take 5. Mark.
Seriously, you think the French fries are good? Fish sticks will give you a fucking boner.
JT, who is really the only true supporting character in the film, played by Vittorio Brom. I want to note that this was Vittorio's first time appearing on screen.
Mark.
You all right, Caleb? Never seen you throw a hammer like that.
Something Vittorio brought was just a real fresh kind of curiosity to every scene, and I think he, really is going to have a big, huge future ahead of him, and I like seeing how the two of them will interact, where Adam will really kind of, take charge of the scene and really kind of own the space, and Vittorio, and this is, worked for his character, I think, quite nicely, is really great at just sort of, sitting back and just sort of responding to whatever Adam might be doing.
I'm gonna do you a favor and knock those hideous fucking teeth out of your mouth, okay?
Okay.
Just shut up.
Sorry. Look, I think it's your turn to bowl, man.
Take my turn then, okay? I don't give a fuck.
Caleb, it's the 6th inning. I don't think
It's the 6th frame, JT. We're in the 6th frame. How long have you been playing this fucking game? Jesus! Here, give me a ball. Give me a ball. Here. How's this? How's this? Is that good enough for you, you asshole?
A great story about Vittorio is that he slept in his acting studio for 2 years. He was homeless and literally slept in his acting studio so he had a place to stay, and cleaned the studio every night instead of paying for acting classes. And so it's always really nice to work with actors who are that dedicated to their craft and really just live and breathe it. And that's Vittorio, and I think it shows on screen. The character of Donald Sinclair, played by J.K. Simmons, is a guy who has kind of been trapped in time a little bit, not unlike Caleb. He's been living in the same house that he and his wife raised their boys in, and Emma, as the first woman in his house in 8 years, she inadvertently forces Donald and Caleb to kind of take a second look at themselves.
Jesus, he's my son. I'm your son.
I'm your son, Donald. I'm your son.
You know, for me, the last scene between Caleb and Donald is kind of sweet in the sense that, you know, I think J.K. and Adam and I really all agreed that there should be very little said. We wanted to stay true to who these guys were, even though they were coming to terms with what had happened. We wanted to stay true to how these two guys would deal with it.
From my window, the only
Want to come in?
Yeah, sure.
you